Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and I'm going to do our May the 27th spiritual principle a day in a meditation. I'm rushing here a little bit because the room is filling up with people. All right, the title of the meditation is Showing Up with Integrity. Integrity is the state of being fully integrated. Our actions, our thinking, our feelings, our ideals, and our values all match up. That comes from the Living Clean book, chapter 3. Spirituality is practical. Most of us think of having integrity as being honest and reliable, as keeping our word. While that's certainly true, integrity has a deeper and more nuanced meaning we don't always consider: being whole, being wholly ourselves, being our whole selves at any given moment, no matter whose presence we're in. As active addicts, we often demonstrate a lack of integrity. We weren't dependable, trustworthy, or responsible, and we weren't whole. We omitted parts of the truth and parts of ourselves. I was like a three-legged table, a member joked. Yeah, I could stand, but don't try leaning on me like that. We compartmentalized our existence. We behaved in certain ways with some, but not with others. And we led double, sometimes multiple lives. These ways of being can follow us into integrity. How we act and appear on the outside doesn't always match who we really are or strive to be on the inside. A member put it like this: today, I know I'm out of alignment with my values, with my emotions reflect my defects, like fear and judgment, and I act on them. Instead, I try to show up as honestly and entirely me as possible. That includes the ideal me. I want to be in relationships and interactions. It's unlikely our feelings will match up with our ideals and values all the time. This friction can be productive. We learn to take actions of love even when we don't necessarily feel the love. For instance, we can treat a member we don't like with kindness and respect. We can serve right alongside someone, even if we sometimes fantasize about pushing them into a swamp full of alligators. Other times, our feelings are less reactive. They match our conscience rather than our defects. In those cases, it may be necessary and right to address someone's behavior. Integrity guides our decisions and how we express ourselves in those moments. It allows us to risk others' disappointment and anger. That's being true to ourselves. That's honesty and reliability. That's love. I'll practice integrity by reliably being all that I am, ensuring that my actions reflect what's inside me. I'll keep on this path of distinguishing my conscience from my reactions. Let me repeat that. I'll keep on this path of distinguishing my conscience from my reactions. And of course, I'll show up when I say I will. I like that last piece. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the reversion of serenity prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Yeah, today I'm in overdrive. I'm really in overdrive, and I'm still thinking about the just for today meditation and how I was saying that even when I am pressured in a situation, I have to pull back and go into a meditative state. And I try to stay there, even when it's almost like multitasking. I try to maintain the calm so that when the storm comes to it, I could speak to that storm and make it slow down. I hope I said that right. I try to do that. It's important for me. And this meditation lines up with that because, as it says, not all the time do our feelings match up with our ideals and values. Not all the time, right? However, when that kind of friction is produced, We can learn to take actions of love, even when we don't feel like it. Love can overcome it all, even when it doesn't seem like it can. We can cause it to overcome situations. We can force those negative situations to line up with love. And we do it by choice. It doesn't all the time happen automatically. We have to choose to do that. We have to choose to do that. And so hopefully you're making that choice today, right? You're making a choice to, cause the things that aren't going the way you want them to line up with what you want them to be. And even when you're not able to do that, at least you get to practice some self acceptance. See, every day is a character building day. It may not be a perfect day, but it is a character building day. And that's what we want to aim for. That's what we want to move for, is to be able to glean from every negative situation and even the situations where we're not performing the way that we want to be, to glean from them positively. And that's a choice. And I know you can do it because I'm doing it. I'm doing it pretty much every day of my life, not all day, but I'm doing it every day of my life. Things will come up because that's life. Anytime you're engaging other human beings, you're going to have things come up that are out of your control. It's hard enough. Listen, guys, it's hard enough dealing with my own character defects. But now you start adding other people to the mix, right? I know what I can do. I know how I'm going to respond. I know my strengths and my weaknesses. Now add someone else to it, whether it be a mate, a child, a coworker, anyone. It doesn't matter. Add them to the mix and see how quickly your day will change. Right? We talk about never being alone all the time, right? An addict alone is in bad company. We talk about that all the time. But some of us can relate to the fact that there was safety in depending on ourselves only. But the way that we coped with it, the way that we dealt with it was not healthy. Today, we don't have to do that. We can learn from every negative situation, have a character building day instead of a bad day, and run with it. One more experience, one more lived experience that we can benefit from. Elon Musk has said this, and he's a very successful businessman. He said that, and I'm paraphrasing, I would hire according to lived experience than credentials, right? Because that lived experience being applied in life is worth way more than people give it credit for. I'm not always going to say it's worth more, but I am going to say it's worth a lot more than we give it credit. Right? Yeah. Okay. If I'm trying to open this is an example. I know someone that's involved with a child care system, and they want her to go to school and get this early child development degree. She has 6 kids, and she is in the process of raising them all from the ranges of 15 down to the age of 6. Right? She's raised them as a single mom, and she understands the expression of a child when a child is hurting or in danger or happy. She understands it. There's a lot of people on her job that have degrees, but she is the main one, the owner turns to when he has something that he wants to know or something that he wants to learn or he wants her opinion. He pulls her more quickly into his office than even his executive director. Now, what does that tell you? It tells me a lot about her lived experience. And that's how we are. We have a lived experience of surviving trouble, of not using drugs. We have a lot of experiences today. And things that come up, we just add them to our lived experience. And it adds value to my life when I'm able to say I overcame something or I survived something or I addressed something. I didn't run from something or I told someone, yeah, I'll be there. And I actually did it. It adds value to my life. Adds value. And let me throw one last story in here. I came to Alabama. My husband's been here for 2 months. It's been really difficult without him. The tornado hit, suffered some damage, trying to recoup that. And I came to Alabama because I was so close. I was only 4 hours and a half away, even though 4.5 hours going north would have had me almost halfway home, right? I decided to come east and come check on him. Got a room, checked into a room, a hotel directly across the street from Huntsville Hospital. So that I would be able to go and see my sister-in-law, but also, of course, see my husband. That was my main reason. Wanted to touch base with him. Had the boys with me and wanted him to know that we loved him and thought enough of him. So get here. And I know I'm behind the 8 ball when it comes to my assignments, right? The deadline was yesterday at 11:59 p.m. Do you know I had told my husband when I got in town, we went and greeted her, but I told him that I will go back to the hospital and see her later. Now I'm supposed to take an exam that's like a 2-hour exam, but if you rush through it, you can get it down to like an hour and a half. Why at 2 hours left to the deadline, I get a hold of my husband and say, let's go see her. Knowing that I wouldn't have time, I sent my professor a message earlier in the day asking for a little leeway, a little wiggle room. And up until that point, she had not responded. We walked over to to the hospital. It's taking a little bit longer. He's, want to go to his truck and all this stuff. And time is ticking. I got 2 hours and now I'm down to 1 hour and 15 minutes to take this quiz, this exam, right? Dawns on me while I'm worried about the time that the point value is 100 points and not 50. So my first quiz was 50, and I've misestimated the amount of time I would probably need. And my spirit is just crushed. And I tell him it's time, we got to get going. And on our way out, having fulfilled my commitment, my word to him, on our way out, I check to see if she's finally responded to my email that I had sent, like maybe 5 hours previous. And do you know, she said, no problem. No problem. So I was able to get myself 24 extra hours instead of just rushing through, right? And sometimes that's how life is. You just show up and do the next right thing for the right reason, right? And believe that the higher power that got me clean is the same higher power that has me today. That's a short example, right? Of this meditation today, showing up with integrity. Today, I want you to show up. Just show up. Whatever you said you were going to do, if it doesn't involve you being in a wet place and possibly triggered, I want for you to follow through with what you said you would do. Let people get to know you as a person that actually keeps their commitments. I hope that helps you today. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. Hope that you have a beautiful day on purpose.